Chapter 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The dimensional gold list is here. A golden light appeared in the dimension of the universe, and then exploded. A huge golden list appeared in everyone's sight, Dimension Gold List. Check out the top 10 most shocking scenes in the world. Ranking in no particular order. This is a thing that reflects the myriad worlds, changes fate, connects dimensions, and broadens your horizons. Kamen Rider World, Baosheng Yongmeng Downright Arrow. At the hospital entrance, Dan Lidu was about to say something with a crazy smile, when suddenly the golden list caught the eyes of everyone present. The three men who were running the 100-meter race also stopped and carefully pondered the origin of the golden list. Dan Lidu's face froze. My godly talent can't even understand the structure of this thing. Isn't it a game? While Dan Lidu was still going crazy, the three men's racing team reacted immediately, put the matter of the golden list aside, held Dan Lidu down and covered his mouth. Ben 10 World, Ben Tian saw the gold list in his field of vision and raised his arm to look at the super watch on his wrist. Is it the same thing as you? In the world of magical girl Madoka Magica, all the Kyubis have the golden list in their eyes. Could it be the product of other advanced civilizations in the universe? Are they also coveting the girls on Earth? In the hospital, Homura Akemi, who had returned from reincarnation again, found the golden list, and a little hope appeared in her heart. This reincarnation was so strange. Perhaps it was the hope of saving Xiaoyuan. Naruto World, Tobarama Senju was handling official business in the Hokage's office when a golden light suddenly appeared in front of him, which made him very alert. It's the Uchiha's natural evil illusion. It must be the hateful Uchiha who did it. Senju Tobarama thought so, not knowing that the whole ninja world had been in a mess. American World. 5-star General MacArthur smiled as he sat on his chair. The existence of this list may allow me to see more legends. When the golden list appeared in my eyes, I knew that more generals would be born. Li Tang World. Yuan Tiangang looked at the dimension gold list in the biting cold wind, with an inexplicable emotion in his eyes. Reverse your fate? The world is a chessboard, and I am the master. In my hands, Li Tang will surely continue its destiny. Even the laws of nature cannot stop me. Collapse World. Chongqing City. Raven is pacing repeatedly in the ruins, her rapid steps revealing her inner anxiety. I hope my fate will change. I wonder if my Villa Island can come back. Thinking of the sunken Villa Island, the Raven couldn't help but drop little pearls. Damn Herschers of the sky. No matter what the cost. Humanity will definitely defeat the Honkai. In the world of Arc Knights, Tallulah, whose consciousness was squeezed deep inside, opened her eyes hazily. She prayed to the heavens but no one responded to her. Her ideals disappeared in the darkness and became a tool for the evildoers. All the partners she had exchanged for all her luck in the first half of her life died, leaving only the grin of the conspiracy. She prayed silently in her heart, if you can really reverse fate. I am willing to give everything and go back to the beginning of everything. See Tiger World, by Nan, who was being slowly approached by Ji Tusher, suddenly found a golden dimension gold list in front of him. At the same time, Ji Tusher and Crazy Bull, who was sitting on the sofa beside him, also discovered the existence of the dimension gold list. But for Ji Tusher, what is the dimension gold list? How can it be as tempting as the tall and handsome man who is right in front of him that he cannot resist? Bai Xiaonan saw that Ji Tusher and the other three were stunned for a moment, thinking that the dimension gold list was made by his master to save him. Bai Xiaonan couldn't help but close his eyes and shout to the sky, Master, save my teeth. While Tian Dao, who was far away in the grassland, was still wondering what the dimension gold list was, he suddenly felt a call. Bai Xiaonan. Don't care. After hesitating for a while, Tian Dao felt that he must have made a mistake, so he continued to study the dimension gold list. Three Kingdoms World. Don Ning, who had just returned from the raid, saw the dimensional gold list in front of him and couldn't help but exclaimed, this is a treasure from heaven. The list is on the gold list. There must be a place for me, Don Ning. 100 riders raided the Wei camp, and my achievements shocked the world. I, Don Ning, will surely be famous all over the world. 3 imperial districts. At the table in the bar, Tifa picked up her glass and clinked it with Song Hana, then slowly said, the origin of this gold list is good, and it will definitely cause unrest in the 3 imperial districts. I, Jerusalem, will also take the lead and appease the sisters in the 3 imperial districts. Don't panic. To be interrupted and said, the dimensional gold list cannot be analyzed, and there is no record in the database. It is suspected to be alien technology. King Ada had no worry in his eyes, and said calmly, since it cannot be analyzed, let's take it one step at a time. Days in the school world. Ito Makoto has been suffering from insomnia recently, ever since the dimensional gold list appeared. Some people's names always appear in his dreams, Momonosuke, Hwaya, Matushinji. It's like they were destined to meet in their previous lives, good brothers in their previous lives. He turned over in bed and murmured, I hope the existence of the gold list will allow the 4 brothers to meet again. Just as the world was studying the nature and origin of the dimension. Gold list, the dimension gold list changed. The dimension gold list is about to start counting. The speech chat area and barrage area will be open soon. The character in the world being counted cannot be interfered with during the count. Chat area is open. Demon Slayer world, Lee Tang world, One Piece world, Naruto world, Bleach world, Space Star God world, Campus 4 Hegemons world, Star Dome Railway world, Elden Ring world, EVA world, entering. As soon as this change occurred, the heavens and the worlds began to boil. Ito Makoto, at Momonosuke at Mato Shinji at Hwaya Brothers. I have known about your existence since the previous life before the previous life. Hwaya, oh, that's great. I'm also confused. You two seem to have a sense of intimacy. Mato Shinji, well, it feels like we are brothers who have washed our feet together. It feels good. Momonosuke, I don't know why, but the first time I saw you, I couldn't help but say, Chingji Yi. Second Master. Tachibana Taki 6. Aha, so many worlds. Aha smells fun. Aha wants fun. Merlin, then let Big Brother Merlin take the friends upstairs to have some fun. Shingongbao, this place, is extremely mysterious. When the audience from all over the world were chatting happily, the inventory began. Chapter 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Enkidu vs Gilgamesh. Dimension Gold List, a review of the top 10 most shocking scenes in the universe. Ranking in no particular order. Top 10 Enkidu vs Gilgamesh. The heavens chain and the heavens contract meet again after 1,000 years, let's say in Uruk style hello. In the Fate world, Gilgamesh, standing on a street lamp, suddenly burst into laughter regardless of everyone present, ha 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 ha. So there is such a possibility. Wiping away the tears from laughing at the corners of his eyes, Gilgamesh turned into photons and disappeared, leaving only one sentence in the air, this war is getting interesting. In the Naruto world, Sarutobi Hiruzen is thinking with his pipe in his mouth, looking at the history of the ninja world. There are no names like Gilgamesh and Enkidu, could it be another world? Sarutobi Hiruzen thought so, but he was suddenly kicked away by Danzo. Danzo walked in seriously and said, Sarutobi, this kind of vision must be caused by the evil Uchiha clan. We need to take action against the Uchiha clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen said slowly, this kind of vision that can cover the entire ninja world cannot be created by the Uchiha clan, so we need to discuss it now. What to discuss? Danzo Shimura pressed on, if you don't deal with Uchiha now, Sarutobi, you will regret it. Hearing this, Hiruzen Sarutobi's face suddenly darkened, and he slowly said, Danzo, I am the Hokage. In Chenglong's adventure world, Xiaoyu asked curiously, Dad, who are Gilgamesh and Enkidu? Dad took a sip of coffee and said slowly, Enkidu and Gilgamesh are characters in Mesopotamian mythology. Their history is too long and it is difficult to trace them back. But, Dad sat up straighter, it would be nice to see what Gilgamesh and Enkidu look like. Inventory begins. In a dark and barren mountain, in a place illuminated by fire, a middle-aged man raised his right hand with red lines engraved on it towards the summoning array in the center of the cave. Start. Based on silver and iron, on the great work of stone and contract, set up barriers to block the wind from the sky, close the 4 doors, come out from the crown, wander at the 3 forks in the road leading to the kingdom. The middle-aged man chanted seriously, and the summoning circle began to emit a blue light. Full, 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 full. Repeat 5 times, discard when full. Declaration. You shall obey my orders, and I shall entrust my life to your sword. If you wish to inhabit the Holy Grail, follow this intention, obey this principle, and respond. Rimuru, is this a summoning circle? Who is this man summoning? Ancient One, looking at the scale of this summoning circle, it should be summoning something from an extraordinary place. Constantine, Holy Grail. A cup containing the blood of saints. The origin of this ritual is very sophisticated. Gabriel, There really is a Holy Grail containing the blood of saints. I, a real angel, didn't even know it. In the FA world, Vlad III looked at the summoning circle with interest. Which Holy Grail war is this? I wonder which famous heroes will appear in this Holy Grail war. The summoner's light suddenly grew larger. The strong wind pressure blew up the man's clothes, almost blowing him out. Buzz. The light faded, and a throne appeared in the center of the summoning circle. The blonde King Gilgamesh crossed his legs and propped up his face to look at the man in front of him. Success. Ha 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 ha. The man looked at Gilgamesh enthusiastically, then covered his face and laughed wildly. Gilgamesh asked with boredom and disgust, "Answer me, are you the arrogant magician who wants to rely on the glory of the king?" Tosaka Tokiomi, it's the most ancient hero King Gilgamesh. I didn't expect him to summon this one, then he is sure to win. Arari, alas, those who say they are sure to win never win in the end. Dad, oh. I didn't expect Gilgamesh to be such a handsome guy. Aizen, heh. With such an ugly appearance, the man who summoned Gilgamesh will die soon. Poseidon, so arrogant. A mere blonde dares to be so arrogant. You are already seeking death. The man opened his arms, yes. I am your master, Puff. As soon as the man finished speaking, the hand on which the command spell was engraved was cut off, and blood splattered on his clothes. What? You're a clown, so howl louder to please me. Gilgamesh's slightly disgusted look disappeared, leaving only boredom. And deeper in the cave, a girl slowly walked out from the shadows. I am so humbled that I beg for the right to appear before the great king. As if seeing something familiar, Gilgamesh put down his hand and said calmly, Okay, I will grant you the honor of seeing me. You deserve praise for not letting the bastard's blood splash in front of me, but you let this unfit meat stink in front of me. I want to hear what excuse you have. Sakuraman Shu, thank you for the invitation. My hand is starting to hurt. Has his master power disappeared? Tomo Mami, you should be thankful that this gentleman only lost his hand. Frenda, yes, losing a hand is not fatal. If it is a war, losing a hand is a good result. Hiratsuka Shizuka, such a young child's disability is downplayed by others. What a terrible world this is. Chi Tiendi, the world is filthy again. Hearing Gilgamesh's reproach, the girl knelt down in an orderly manner and presented the man's right hand. My apologies. I just felt that dealing with a thief who stole the treasure key was not worthy of the king's personal judgment, so I took the initiative to kill him. This key. Boring. Gilgamesh picked up the golden key, looked at it, and then threw it in front of the man. Hearing Gilgamesh's intention to spare his life, the man looked at the key on the ground, then quickly turned around and threw a curse ball at the girl. The girl calmly clapped her hands to the ground, and the flames that shot up into the sky turned the man into charcoal. Looking at the girl in front of him, Gilgamesh felt that she looked very much like someone, and he loved children very much, so Gilgamesh stood up and asked seriously, Well, let me ask you again, are you the magician who wants to rely on the glory of the king? The girl bowed her head slightly, and a command seal appeared on the back of her hand that was touching her chest. In the Fate world, on the throne of heroes, the original Ishtar's eyes lit up when she saw Gilgamesh casually throw the treasure key away. What kind of holy grail war is this? I want to participate too. Ishtar gradually showed a funny smile as she imagined the expression of Gilgamesh, who was as arrogant as him, after the king's treasure was locked up. Brother wooing, why don't you thank Brother Gil? Peter Parker, this man is courting death. Why doesn't he run away if we spare his life? Young man, maybe he thinks he has the advantage. Uchiha Madara, this little girl is pretty good at using fire escape. She is much better than those Uchiha people in later generations who can't kill people with fire escape. Natsu, this pattern is a contract. It's really a combination of a master and a servant. Nanami Aoyama, Gilgamesh is so handsome. I can't wait to see what Enkidu looks like. New books for flowers. Big discount for reading during Dragon Boat Festival. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Top up now, event time, June 22nd to June 24th. Chapter 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Enkidu arrives. The reunion of lock and contract. Screen change. In a dark forest, it was raining heavily. A man hit a white wolf in front of him with a gun. Why? Why? Why did the command seal appear on a synthetic beast like you? Why is this happening? Why do you think I pushed your magic circuit to its limit? You are the medium. The man kicked the white wolf lying on the ground. It is an honor to be the medium for summoning God. Why don't you accept it? King Litong, the snow leopard, is wailing. My snow leopard is mourning for this white wolf. Conan, it seems that the prerequisite for summoning heroes is to have the command seal, and this man wanted to obtain the command seal, but he didn't expect it to appear on the synthetic beast. Atrox, Upright arrow, it is an honor to be the medium for summoning God. God is also a scum. Dumbledore, everything has its value of existence, so where is the glory of being the medium for summoning God? Bruce Wayne, Enkidu, as an old god, are you an evil god? The man beat the white wolf harder and harder, and the white wolf felt death approaching, and its desire to survive became stronger and stronger. Live, live, live. 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 Oh. Crack. Along with the melodious howls of wolves, thick lightning struck the forest, illuminating the surroundings. A man with long green hair and a white robe appeared in the open space. Servant Lancer Enkidu has arrived. Immortal, even artificial life has the desire to survive. Life is so wonderful. Red Wolf, how pitiful. Who can come to save him? Sieg, I am more convinced that if life has its own will, whether it is artificial or not, they are all life. Reiner, this lightning. Something extraordinary has arrived. Phosphophilite, is this? Enkidu. The breath of nature, the breath of the earth. So friendly, so gentle. Aponia, he has the power of commandments and equality for all things. There is no doubt that he is a true god. Enkidu turned his head, looked at the white wolf behind the man with his blue eyes, and said gently, "Are you the master who summoned me?" After saying this, Enkidu walked past the incredulous man, walked behind him, picked up the white wolf, and stroked it. The contract is established. Feeling this gentle embrace and the safe environment, a tear fell from the corner of the white wolf's eye. Ignoring the man with the barking dog behind him, Enkidu walked towards the depths of the forest holding the white wolf. Enkidu sat by a river deep in the forest, with the white wolf lying beside him. I feel relieved. I thought everything in this world would be filled with things like what I had seen in Uruk before. Enkidu looked up at the sky, his eyes gradually softening. Fortunately, this world is still beautiful. Nagatoro Haze, trash trash. This man is such a clown, ha ha ha. Litong King, White Wolf is not out of touch. Amaya, Enkidu, so gentle, not like a human nor like a god, just like the land that embraces the world. Kingo, those things in Uruk. I see. Enkidu, are you watching everything? Bruce Wayne, it's the good God. Humanity has been spared from a disaster. He loves the world equally, and his existence is harmless no matter what. In the Marvel world, Vision said so affirmatively, the meaning of his birth is to stand on the side of life. Similarly, he can also feel the essence of Enkidu standing on the side of life. Suddenly, a wave came from a distant place. This familiar wave was the link between the lock and the contract. Enkidu looked up in surprise and said, "Could it be, it's you? The duel on that battlefield can still continue. Now things are getting interesting." Enkidu stood up and spread his arms. "Ah, Dio, oh, gravity. The meeting between people is made by fate. Shanks, let's get down to business. Is the decisive battle about to begin? Kamiyama Toma, let's see how shocking this ancient epic battle can be when it is recreated in modern times. Loki, Hea. How shocking can a mere native god of the earth be? The breath of the servant spread thousands of miles away. Gilgamesh was about to drink the rejuvenating potion at this moment, when he suddenly felt a familiar breath, and great surprise appeared in his eyes. Ha 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 ha. Little girl, feel the surprise. This holy grail war is worthy of this king's all-out fight. Gilgamesh threw the anti-aging potion away, and the girl, Teeny, caught it with her confused and flustered hands. This is a magic elixir for rejuvenation. You may not need it at your age, but you should accept it with gratitude. Okay. Okay. During the Warring States period, Ing Zheng's eyes suddenly turned red when he saw the medicine in Gilgamesh's hand, the elixir of rejuvenation. Although it is not an elixir of immortality, it can make people live another life. He actually gave it to that child like this. In the FZ world, Tosaka Tokiomi's face was bitter. He was a respectful subject to Gilgamesh and served him, but he looked down on him and didn't have to fight the Holy Grail war with all his strength. But in front of this little girl, he gave her the elixir of rejuvenation at will, and when she sensed Enkidu's aura, she immediately used all her strength. It's really annoying to compare yourself with others. Black Tower. Overgrowth is not difficult, but achieving immortality and rejuvenation. The miracle is sealed in a bottle of elixir. I really want to study it. Snape, can muggles explore the magic of potions? Mickey Sayaka, but Teeny is so lucky. Gilgamesh looks difficult to get along with, but he is actually a pretty good person. Suddenly, Teeny, who was bowing her head to thank him, found that the command spell glowed red. She looked up and saw that it was Gilgamesh who had released his noble phantasm. Happy Qingming outing and reading. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Recharge now. Activity time, April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sword of Separation, sing as loud as you can. I want the engine to run at full speed, Jill. A golden key that was shining and rotating in combination caught Teeny's eyes. Gilgamesh said calmly, don't confuse this with the key that the jester brought just now. Where the keys were connected, countless dense red circuits appeared, extending into the sky, analyzing the rules of the world. Tina, prove it to me. Gilgamesh raised his head proudly. Those who are afraid of the aftermath of the battle are not qualified to be my subjects. Nami, a golden key. It looks very valuable. It won't connect to this huge treasure house. Chow Chow, is this also a god-annihilating tool? It looks so powerful. Ancient One, the rules of the world are being analyzed by this key. Could it be that, this key is not the body of the weapon? Virgil, a weapon with the concept of division? No, it is a weapon with the concept of opening up the world. Garp, I am a little curious about the battle whose aftermath can make people feel terrified. How big is the scale of the battle? Tosaka Tokiomi, humph. This is the Holy Grail War. A supervised war. There won't be much damage. A ball of light appeared in the air. Gilgamesh reached his hand into it and twisted it hard. Click. Gilgamesh holds a golden, black and red cylindrical weapon in his hand. EA, I guess you just woke up and are in a bad mood, so please accompany me to this feast for a while. As Gilgamesh spoke, ancient red lines appeared on the EA's sword of peril. Holding the sword of separation, Gilgamesh jumped hard and headed straight for the battlefield. Aatrox, ha 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 ha, upright arrow. A stick, a stick. A stick is worthy of being called a sword. Zeta, no. This weapon is like Belia's dusk san, it is a weapon that embodies a concept. I don't know what the specific concept is. Yakumo Yukari, Allah Allah, the feast is about to begin. In the FZ world, all the masters straightened up and looked at the gold list intently. For them, the biggest rival of the Holy Grail war is the King of Heroes Gilgamesh. Being able to know Gilgamesh's trump card here can be regarded as seizing the initiative, so that plans can be made in advance to deal with Gilgamesh. In the Fate world, a drop of cold sweat dripped down Shiro Amiya's forehead. To this day, he still cannot analyze the Sword of Separation. The sword pressure of the Sword of Separation when it was drawn destroyed the evil hand of the Holy Grail. He cannot imagine the Sword of Separation being fully liberated. The scene shifts to the forest. Enkidu bent down and said to the white wolf gently, "Master, I hope you can wait here for a while. I have to go." The surrounding trees continued to grow, enveloping the white wolf and protecting it. "Master, I will be back soon. As long as I am still alive, I promise to come back to you." After that, Enkidu was wrapped in green light and flew straight into the sky, flying towards the desert. Izumi Sajiri, Enkidu is very kind to his master, even if he is not human. Senju Hashirama, is Enkidu-san using wood release? Then he must be very good at stomping his feet and counterattack, right? Gamamaru, it's not wood release, he has so much natural power in him that it's scary. He can be said to be the embodiment of nature. Kazami, Yuka, Enkidu. I like him very much. The scene turns to the desert. Enkidu and Gilgamesh stared at each other in silence. Suddenly Gilgamesh closed his eyes and then smiled arrogantly. Seeing this, Enkidu also tilted his head and smiled gently. Gilgamesh raised the Sword of Separation, and the huge wind pressure swept away the dust in the air. Red light emerged, and red thunder struck from the sky. The clouds formed a circular vortex with the Sword of Separation as the eye. Gilgamesh, at the center, pointed the Sword of Separation at Enkidu with a look of delight on his face. "Sword of Separation, sing as loud as you can." The sword, divided into 3 parts, began to spin at high speed. Red lightning appeared, and heavy rain fell from the sky. Misaka Mikoto, this smile, looks like the smile of number 1. Young man, he still loves to laugh. Boys who love to laugh will definitely be beaten up. Hikigaya Hachiman, Enkidu's smile is really, so healing. Is he a man or a woman? Magneto, Gilgamesh must be a mutant, right? He must be, right? Tokiwa Sugo, wow, so awesome. One day I will become the king of this. In the world of Boruto, Hatake Kakashi looked at the vortex cloud and recalled bad memories. Can the wind pressure of drawing a sword alone reach the scene of the final battle between Naruto and Sasuke in the Valley of the End? In the Marvel world, Loki's eyes were filled with disbelief. Cricket humans. Cricket Earth natives. How could this be possible? That he still remembers Hulk's words, "What a weak god," and Gilgamesh's power makes him powerless and furious. Enkidu looked up at Gilgamesh, who was wielding his magic freely, and said gently, "I am very happy that I can compete with you again like this." According to the words of this era, Enkidu's gentle tones suddenly turned sharp. "I want my engines on full blast, Jill." A white flower bloomed in Enkidu's outstretched palm, and the earth was illuminated by the emerging golden light. Golden thunder corresponding to Gilgamesh's red thunder continued to strike. Tiny, standing on the distant Gobi Hills, looked into the distance. The sky was twisted into a huge cloud vortex, and golden and red lightning kept entangled. This scene alone shocked Tiny, but she felt that something big was coming. "Lidong King, I want to fire all the smoke bombs, Wang Yuan." Wanzhong Longwo, Gilgamesh is unstoppable, Enkidu is in full swing. Dong Hai Emperor, Enkidu is getting serious. The calmness and gentleness just now have all turned into a sharp sense of oppression. The horse is out of breath, Nashida, golden lotuses sprang up from the ground, flowers appeared in his hands, and nature was completely at his disposal. This is the true grass god, right, Armin, at Tosaka Tokiomi, you said this is a holy grail war that won't be too destructive. Kotomine Kirai, as we all know, the holy grail war is hidden from the public's view. Ha 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 ha. In the one-piece world, Whitebeard raised his glass and cheered loudly, Lalala. Sons. Celebrate. Cheer for the opening of this unprecedented war. In the Kawakudan world, the fleeing Ōtsutsuki Baruto clenched his fist at the scene, TMD. It's on fire. Dragon Boat, Festival Reading Discount. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Recharge now, event time, June 22nd to June 24th. Chapter 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. EnumaElish. Narrative original. When the world was created, nothingness also offered a gift of congratulations. Tear the world apart with my sword of separation. Gilgamesh's voice resounded through the sky, and the might of the sword of separation grew stronger with his chant. The nebula swept across, and the so-called hell in the sky was the end of the eve of creation. The scene switches to the universe. Looking at the Earth, a huge vortex visible to the naked eye appears on the surface of the planet. River God, oh. It's the sword that created the world. Atrox, create the world. Walter, is the void also presenting a gift to it? As expected, it is indeed a conceptual weapon against the world. Nyen, how was this weapon made? So awesome. Kaltsit, such a weapon cannot be born on this land, and it is definitely not a product of technology. Demon Slayer, Musen Kibutsuji was so scared that his face turned green, and he uttered a few words in disbelief. How is it possible? The 3D-like surround scene made every cell of Musen Kibutsuji have its own consciousness, and he wanted to disperse and escape. Finally, Musen Kibutsuji couldn't help but exploded. Musen Kibutsuji watched the movie separately. The Trisolaran civilization, the Trisolarans want to analyze it but cannot, no traces of technology can be seen on the sword of separation, it is like a natural creation. Faced with Gilgamesh's full strength, Enkidu no longer concealed his strength and opened fire at full force. What is awakened here is the breath of the stars, and I will move forward side by side with the world. Therefore. Enkidu stretched his body, and countless ears of rice, flowers, and branches sprouted from the ground. The giant trees surrounded Enkidu and rose into the sky. Arthur Pendragon, breath of the stars. Enkidu. So your treasure is the treasure of rectification. Rose, the people above explained the rectification in detail. What does rectification mean? Arthur Pendragon, it is the crystallization of the dream embodied by the miracle inside the planet. It increases its power according to the threat to the planet and the world, and it is always superior to the threat from outside the sky. Holy Sun, so there really is such a power? If my world has such a treasure, it will be saved. Kikyo, the son of nature who walks side by side with the world is really a good god in the true sense of the word. The star that opened up the separation between heaven and earth. EnumaElish, people, hope to chain the gods. EnumaElish, boom. The collision between heaven and earth, the collision between the noble phantasm for the world and the noble phantasm for the rectification illuminated the heaven and earth. On the hill, Teeny resisted the urge to retreat, but the bright light from the collision still made her cover her eyes. Sakuta Azusagawa, say hello, David Martinez, this is a collision between heaven and earth. Just like in the movies. It's so shocking. Sakura Anko, the names of their noble phantasms are exactly the same, they really are a pair. Ezreal, Teeny is so brave, how can she be afraid of the aftermath? Any squishy ADC would be killed instantly by the unknown AoE. In the Absolute Warcraft front, wise King Flash couldn't help but covered his face, ha 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 ha. That useless goddess. Did you see how the king and Enkidu were waiting for me? Ha 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 ha. Ishtar, who was standing next to her with a sign of useless goddess, was thinking angrily, where did the bull of heaven go? The scene changes to a city thousands of miles away. In a small house, a little girl with a command spell on her hand sleepily opened the curtains and looked at the lightning outside. Boom! Ah! The light produced by the strongest collision of the two treasures was like lightning in the city, instantly scaring the little girl. It's thundering. The little girl climbed onto the bed in fear and covered herself with the quilt, her body trembling as she cried, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's thundering, it's so scary. The little girl's tears kept flowing from the corners of her eyes, and her body was shaking violently. Outside the quilt, part of the black mist slowly enveloped the bed, covering the little girl and blocking out the sounds outside, while the other part flew towards the battlefield and the desert. Binkaton, don't be afraid, the lightning will be over in a flash. Pineapple blowing snow, these two people have no manners. Look how scared they are by this little kid. Itsuka Kotori, am I the only one who noticed that there is a command seal on the back of this little girl's hand? She is also a master. Kenda Suji, how does the Holy Grail system choose a master by involving such a young child in the war? Patriot, this ball of black mist should be the servant of this little girl, a demonic thing, what is its true nature? Makima, this ball of black mist, looks familiar. At this time, the battlefield was filled with yellow sand, and sandstorms and tornadoes appeared around. The two reminisced about the past and both got satisfactory results. Enkidu was the same Enkidu after everything he had experienced, and Gilgamesh was the same Gilgamesh Enkidu was familiar with. Gilgamesh said self-deprecatingly, if the king when I was a child knew the king now, I would probably commit suicide. As he said this, he lightly jumped into the sky. Really? Enkidu looked up at the thousands of doors of the king's treasure house that had been opened inside. If you were the child that Charlotte described when you were a child, I think you would choose to live even if you knew it. For the people of Uruk. After that, Enkidu spread out his hands, and the wisdom of the people was fully opened, and golden spots of light emerged from the earth one by one. Ilya, little Gil should know him when he grows up. Gil has a good personality. He is really different from the grown-up him. Nami, this is really connected to the treasure house. There must be a lot of treasures in the thousands of doors. Eddie, the child that Charlotte described, is really a child that possesses all the good qualities. Joseph Joestar, the battle is not over yet. Awesome. So awesome. Haydn Orto, Mesopotamian mythology is the oldest civilization, so Gilgamesh and Enkidu are going to be the oldest air battle and anti-aircraft battle in human history. There is also a Dragon Boat Festival reading discount in the evening. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Top up now, event time, June 22nd to June 24th. Chapter 6. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shocking the world. The wisdom of the people versus the treasure of the king. The final blow of reunion. Boom 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 boom. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Thousands of light points began to bombard each other from the earth and the sky. The roar and explosions resounded throughout the desert. Densely packed weapons and treasures began to clash, and the sounds of collision and breaking were endless. The door of the king's treasure sprays dozens of weapons out every second, and the people's wisdom also fires at full power, scattering more god-made weapons. Black Rock Shooter, firepower is truth. Muzan Kibutsuji, will he die? He will definitely die. Wonder Woman, the battle between gods and ancient mythology is far inferior to the battle between the two of them. Pava, what kind of throwing water is this? So powerful. Origami Tabichi, Gilgamesh, is this really a power that humans can possess? In the FC world, Tosaka Tokiomi's eyes turned green as he watched the firepower exchange, and he couldn't help but ponder, could it be that Gilgamesh was playing him before? In the FGO world, Fujimaru Ritsuka's eyes flickered as she watched this scene. This scene is even more spectacular than the attack and defense of Uruk Castle in the absolute demonic front. In the Gensokyo world, Yakumo Yukari watched this shocking scene with great interest and commented, "I didn't expect that there would be such dense barrages in the other world." The sky was covered with golden rain. Occasionally, a mist weapon flew through the light rain and shot towards Enkidu, but he dodged it easily. The god-made weapons also bounced off Gilgamesh's golden armor, causing him to laugh happily. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Enkidu seemed to sense something ominous and rushed to the battlefield. He closed his eyes, put his hands on his ears and began to listen. The screen suddenly flashed rapidly. A black and white building. The plague doctor's beaked mask. A rotten skull. Enkidu opened his eyes wide and turned his head sharply. Something nasty is coming, maybe it's my natural enemy or something like that. Sunio, Gilgamesh laughs like fat tiger. Asuna, ah. He really laughs so loudly that Enkidu had to cover his ears. Kirishima Tuka, he's not covering his ears, he seems to be listening to something. Mitaka, Asa, I was wondering who it was, it turns out to be Death. In the DC world, Constantine dropped the cigarette he was holding. He never expected that the death of one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse would lead to his appearance in the war in this alien world, as a little girl. In the Marvel world, Wolverine broke out in a cold sweat. As a mutant who could not die, he felt the feeling of death for the first time. He could keenly sense that this was not a death that affected the body, but a real death as a life. In the FA world, Vlad III sat on the throne and said with sudden enlightenment, "No wonder." According to mythological records, Enkidu died of the curse of death, so the Pale Knight's compatibility is naturally against Enkidu. Joan of Arc below also looked solemnly at the three servants who had appeared so far. There were too many extraordinary beings in this Holy Grail war, the wisdom of the people and the treasure of the king were both extinguished. Gilgamesh turned his head and looked into the distance. The curse of death. How could the king be so careless? It seems that he was overwhelmed by joy. The reason why Enkidu appeared in the world is not only because he was destined to continue the duel with Gilgamesh, but also to protect his master. In desperation, Enkidu had to stop fighting and flee. In order to protect the master, he must not die here because of the arrival of a third party, Nick Fury, damn it. Although he is a good god, it is still very dangerous to leave such a powerful person with independent thinking ability outside. Dumbledore, with a protective heart, no matter how powerful, it will not lose control. Homura Akemi, the awareness of guarding against third parties is still very strong. After all, the sixth one is really disgusting. Ōtsutsuki Hagoromo, a duel of fate. Will it chain-call certain people or gods connected to them? In the world of fate, on the throne of heroes, Gilgamesh, who saw Ōtsutsuki Hagoromo's words, thought for a while, and thought of the key he threw away, his face turned green-ish, Tau. Gilgamesh, knowing that the decisive battle would end here, closed his eyes with a smile and indulgence, grinned with a wanton smile, and raised the sword of rebellion. This is the last blow of the night. If you take this blow, it will become a promise of reunion. The sandstorm and the dragon whirlwind were blown away by the wind pressure activated by the sword of separation. The nebula swept in. The starry sky appeared again. Enkidu spread his arms and smiled at Gilgamesh. Of course, I plan to do the same. EnumaElish. The scene switches to the perspective of the moon, and a dazzling red light spot lights up in the center of the Earth's surface. Earth star god Gaia, really? Still coming. Gaia Ultraman, have you heard the cry of Mother Earth? Have you seen the Earth's crust falling apart? Tosaka Tokiomi, this scale, this is not right. Tony Stark, I remember that the Holy Church is here to supervise the Holy Grail War. They should take care of it. Sora/Shiro, in this case, the one who tries to stop the fight will die first. We can only wait and see when they stop. Amiya Shiro, the floor tiles of Ryudu Temple, are really strong. Day and night fade away, the new sun rises. The dust and smoke had long since dissipated, but Teenie still had cold sweat on her face. She slowly stood up and looked ahead in shock. In front of her was a vast expanse of land, with a red, bottomless cenote flowing with magma and cracks in the ground. It was like a hole punched in the planet. This is, the Holy Grail War, Ultraman Gaia, full of fainting. 100 faintings. Shilin, the power of humans. Impossible. I will not make a sound if this hits me. Kaido Daiki, the ritual of the Holy Grail War is truly the greatest treasure in this world. In the Type Moon world, the clock tower is in chaos. The grand determination was held directly, and the monarchs of the clock tower only knew about the Holy Grail War from the small rituals in the Far East. I didn't expect this to involve the Throne of Heroes. The Third Law. And the Origin Vortex. The storm surrounding the start of the Holy Grail War is about to unfold. Fate World, ha 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 ha. Gilgamesh laughed wildly and patted Kotomine Kirei on the shoulder. Did you see that, Kirei? This is my heroic appearance and power. Kotomine Kirei said nothing, his eyes were subtle. From the moment he learned about the chain greeting and saw Gilgamesh throw away the holy relic, he had already anticipated what would happen next. Thinking of this, Kotomine Kirei couldn't help but curl up a happy smile at the corner of his mouth. In the FA world, Vlad III was also shocked, and the servants and masters of the black and red sides were all shocked. They all thought at the same time, what kind of Holy Grail War is this? In the battle world, Gakuwa Kotori opened her mouth slightly, and her lollipop fell directly to the ground. So far, except for the initial space shock, no elf or space has brought such destructive power. And such destructive power is just the aftermath of the unsatisfactory battle between two people. In the magical girl Madoka Magica world, Akemi Homura is also seriously thinking about the possibility of the Holy Grail War. Magic and miracles exist. Even if it requires a price, it exists. If Enki or Gilgamesh is summoned, defeating which knight will be easy. The screen went dark, and before everyone in the universe noticed any changes on the gold list, Top 9 appeared. Chapter 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Top 9 Red Mist Mutation Battle. Dimension Gold lists a review of the top 10 most shocking scenes in the universe. Ranking in no particular order. Top 9 Red Mist Mutation Battle. Come and see the power of the urban management. In the Super God world, Gu Xiaoluan said in disbelief, What? Urban management? Lu Chuan laughed, what? Can Guangu also be on this Dimension Gold list? In the Gensokyo world, Hakurei's mother stroked the head of the napping Reimu and looked at the word mutation with some confusion. The red mist incident. Should it be Gensokyo? No. Maybe it could be another world. At the Hakurei shrine, Cerno laughed and slapped the table, ha 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 ha. City management. The Hakurei shrine maiden is the city management. Ha ha ha. Cerno, who was laughing wildly, didn't notice that Hakurei Raimu's face had turned black. Demon destroys the world. Abuyashiki Yoya thought about it, and then thought that mutation can be said to be a term in the Heian period. Since it is a mutation, it must be related to monsters and demons, and the only one who can solve the mutation is the Shrine Maiden except for the Onmyoji. Thinking of this, Abuyashiki Yoya had more hope in his heart. Since the Shrine Maiden can exterminate monsters, then the ghosts are the same, right? If he can learn the Shrine Maiden's fighting method, he will definitely be able to put an end to Musen Kibutsuji. Inventory begins. The scene is a bright world with flowers blooming and birds singing. The perspective of the picture keeps changing, humans, goblins, ghosts, gods, and non-human things. Various beings and lives live peacefully in this paradise called Gensokyo. Suddenly, starting from the shore of the fog lake in Gensokyo, a thick red fog began to spread. The sunny Gensokyo was shrouded in red fog, and Sangqing Tian could not be recognized when he looked up. Kaltsit, it's very similar to the biome of Terra, but this is a world without disasters, a world isolated from the world and not peeped at. Honjo Nia, Masaka. Here, is this the legendary two-dimensional world? Deadpool, oh. The beauty upstairs, don't say that, aren't you also in the two-dimensional world? Honjo Nia, huh. This red fog is not bad, it's very suitable for vampires. Musen Kibutsuji, why don't I have such a ghost blood technique? NMD, why? In the .type moon world, countless magicians were shocked. In this era when the age of gods is fading, fantasy no longer exists, and the great source is exhausted, there is actually such a place where gods and fantasy species exist. This is simply the picture of the legendary star Inland Sea. In the world of Onmyoji, Abe Haruaki couldn't help but be more shocked. Humans, monsters, and ghosts are in opposition to each other, and gods are high above them, but in this world, humans, monsters, ghosts, and gods can coexist. What is the reason that maintains all this? The scene changes. In a rather barren shrine called Hakurei, a shrine maiden lies on the tatami, covered by a patched quilt, sleeping peacefully. BNG. Reimu. Something big has happened. A blonde girl wearing a black and white maid outfit, a magician's hat, and holding a broom kicked open the door of the shrine and shouted, Reimu. Reimu got up from the bed impatiently and rubbed her eyes. What's wrong again, Marissa? Marissa pointed to the blood-red sky outside the door. Reimu. This is a mutation. The novel was taken from the Rawlers website. Close where you're reading it and support us on our website for more free novels. The novel was taken from the Rawlers website. Close where you're reading it and support us on our website for more free novels. Looking at the changes outside, Reimu's dead fish eyes did not change, she just sighed. Yato, ah. As expected, where there are poor gods, there are poor priestesses. Isegai Yuma, so the protagonists who can make it to the gold list are all so poor. They feel poorer than me. Merlin, why Min has not slept yet? Hayakawa Akira, is this blonde girl a magician? A very stereotypical image of a magician. Dumbledore, ha ha ha. Such a lively child. If she were in Hogwarts, she would definitely be a member of Gryffindor. Mina, a familiar look. It turns out that this little girl is also a tired worker. In the world of Gensokyo, the face behind the mask of Amama is full of surprise and disbelief. No one expected that the protagonist on the gold list is Reimu. Or Reimu when she grows up. In the world of Naruto, Uzumaki Naruto pointed at Reimu and said to Kakashi, Teacher Kakashi. This girl's eyes are similar to yours. Kakashi looked at Naruto speechlessly. As early as the first time he saw Reimu, he knew that Reimu must be a worker who did not get paid for her job. The scene changed, and Reimu was flying at high speed in the air, heading towards a mansion in the distance, the source of the red fog. Woo! Suddenly a little girl's voice appeared in the air. Hearing the sound, Reimu, who was flying at high speed, suddenly looked ahead in surprise. A dark mass was flying towards her. When they got close to the darkness, a little girl appeared in the center of the darkness, and flew towards Reimu with a happy smile. Reimu frowned, dodged the little girl and accelerated. The water below was also stirred up by the acceleration. After flying for a while, Reimu finally arrived at the source of the red fog, the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Elmeloi too, she's only in her teens. Is she really a natural talent, Kikyo, such a powerful Miko? You really can't judge a person by appearance. Tony Stark, so, how does she fly? The power can create waves, it's close to the speed of sound, right? Kwanji Yuzu, don't use technology to measure and explore mysteries, you may not understand. Ancient One, Stark has the qualifications of a wizard, and mysteries are not a field he cannot explore. In the boy's world, Homelander looked at the flying Hakurei Reimu with gloomy eyes. In his eyes, flying is his own privilege, and it is the privilege of Homelander. In the DC world, the Flash sat in Batman's car with a pizza in his mouth, and asked with complicated eyes, so, is this Supergirl? In the Gensokyo world, when Alma saw Rumya like this, she already knew her future choice, she stroked Reimu's face gently. Maybe she couldn't grow up with Reimu, but it was great to see Reimu grow up. slowly falling to the ground. In front of the gate of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, a gatekeeper in green clothes and red hair was guarding the gate, not giving way. The red-haired guard looked at Reimu, wiped the corner of his mouth, revealed a disdainful expression, raised his hand in a martial arts attack posture, and hooked his fingers provocatively. Reimu didn't say much. She pointed her palm at her, put the imperial coin on her arm with her other hand, and then swung it hard. Ha! A blue wave of spiritual energy shot out from Raimu's palm and headed straight for the red-haired monk. The red-haired monk still had that confident and disdainful expression on her face, until the spiritual power wave approached her. She finally moved and showed a panicked and funny expression. Why? Boom! A huge explosion sounded. Thick smoke was produced. That when the smoke cleared, the red-haired guard was seen lying on the ground with French gestures, his clothes torn, and he had fainted. The door of the Scarlet Devil Mansion was smashed. Reimu was walking towards the door of the mansion step by step. Su-Kei, good guy. I like this sister. It turns out that she was just pretending to be so arrogant before. Okita Suji, hey. You can't say she's pretending. I thought she was going to compete with her skills, but who knew Reimu would suddenly fire a light cannon. Kojiro, ha. So funny. She's not a funny character, is she? Faloo's 18th anniversary brand upgrade gives back to readers. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Top up now, event time, August 10th to August 20th. Chapter 8. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Maid Who Stopped Time. The game is really full. Squeak. Ling Meng pushed open the door, and a cold female voice sounded in her ears. Welcome to Scarlet Devil Mansion, Hakurei's Miko. In the dim and dark Scarlet Devil Mansion, a silver-haired maid slowly walked out from the second-floor stairs and looked at Reimu with an evil smile. Reimu looked at the maid expressionlessly and questioned, "Are you human?" Jonathan Joestar, this strangely familiar scene. Dio, roar. Jojo, what a misfortune, it seems that the owner of this mansion is also a vampire. Let me see how this overconfident little bread is tortured to death by a vampire. Dan Masamune, the power of this little girl is somewhat familiar. Is it the power of time? Lex Luthor, she is a human being with great power. Why would she help a heretic race? Let your master come out. Reimu took 2 steps forward. That red mist has caused us a lot of trouble. I hope she can stop. Suddenly realizing something was wrong, Reimu turned around quickly, only to find that the door she had opened had been closed. You won't be able to see the young lady. The maid suddenly appeared behind Reimu with a smile on her face. Let me meet you on her behalf. Ah. Reimu quickly turned around and swung the imperial coin, but the maid easily dodged it. The maid lifted her skirt and pulled out 3 throwing knives from the leg rings tied around her thighs. Reimu waved the imperial coin, took out the talisman paper, and shouted angrily, "If you dare to obstruct me, whether it is a monster or a human, I will defeat them in front of you." Polnareff, what kind of ability is this? Is it the ability to control the opening and closing of the door? You are worthy of being a gatekeeper. King Slayer, it should be the skill of teleportation, but what kind of ability is it that can't capture the figure and the movement of closing the door? David Martinez, now that you mention it, it is a bit like the scene when Sion Weston was activated. Dio, roar. I understand. The same flying knife technique, we really have an inexplicable destiny. In the world of Inuyasha, countless monsters are laughing wildly, ha 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 ha. What do you mean she can defeat both humans and monsters? Who does she think she is? Ha ha ha. The famous shrine maiden Kikyo is dead. What the hell is she? Upon hearing this, the maid jumped into the air and threw a flying knife. Suddenly the picture changed color, and patterns of gears and clocks appeared. Reimu's body also stopped for a moment, and then the 3 throwing knives turned into hundreds of throwing knives and shot towards Reimu. Reimu accurately dodged and dispersed all the flying knives that could attack her, and at the same time threw a dozen golden talismans at the maid. It's useless. The maid raised her hand and time suddenly stopped. Reimu's body was motionless, and the talisman that was flying towards the maid also stopped in midair. Dio, to be subdued by a vampire, he must have an immortal body and the ability to stop time, ha 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 ha. The only thing missing is that his shitballs are thrown away. Dan Jingzong, it doesn't matter if the weak resist the strong, but if they can't even resist, it's worthless. Things that have no value will be discontinued. Is this maid a member of the Time Royal family? How could a member of the Time Royal family stoop to being a maid? Romani Akaiman, stop time, isn't that too much of a model? Captain Marvel, just like the cosmic cube created me, maybe her time ability is just the result of some powerful item. The same move was dodged by Reimu again. Reimu seemed to be aware of the maid's ability and said provocatively, "How about you become a magician? You will be very popular in the human world." Me? Going to a human's place? You are such a joke. Hearing this, the maid's face turned cold. Let me finish you off right here. Call out. The pattern of gears and clocks reappeared, and the world stopped again. Witness my power that is feared and hated by humans, and tremble as much as you can. Hakurei Miko. The maid jumped into the air and threw flying knives non-stop. Several, dozens, hundreds. The flying knives surrounded Reimu in a 360-degree circle. There was no room for escape. Homura Akemi, it is indeed a troublesome thing that the time stop only affects herself. It cannot be directly wiped out in the time stop. Dio, humph. That means you are still too weak. Sakata Jintoki, her time stop lasts at least a few minutes, and you only have 5 seconds. Dio, wryyyyyyyy. Kaching, how can she dodge this attack that there is nowhere to escape? Perhaps only a miracle can save her from death. Uchiha Obito, she just lacks the ability to become a hollow. Alicia, it makes me so sad to see two such cute girls fighting each other. Then the maid fell to the ground and took out a pocket watch that was shaking constantly. You will die in confusion. The only one who can understand me is the eldest lady. Remove. Phew. A flying knife pierced into Reimu's forehead. Then countless flying knives pierced Reimu's body, piercing her, but there was no trace of blood. At this moment, Reimu, who was supposed to be dead, suddenly turned into a pile of talismans and swept towards the maid. The maid stopped time again to avoid the attack of the talisman paper and fell to the ground, but found that the ground was also trapped by Reimu with talisman paper, which controlled her. Finally got fooled. Reimu slowly walked down the stairs behind the maid. The maid activated the time stop again, but found that the talisman that bound her could not be removed at all. Tokiwa Sugo, she is also holding a dial in her hand. I see. She is also a Kamen Rider. Uchiha Itachi, reincarnation, one thing leads to another, their direct game has reached its limit. Namikaze Minato, young man, it's full, really full. Tomo Mami, it seems that the essence of Reimu's power is also magic, and it is used in a similar way to me. Kurumi, she can use talismans better than me, and Onmyoji. Isn't she a shrine maiden? Kikyo, if the stereotype that shrine maidens only use bows and arrows is caused by me, I'm really sorry. There are many people like you in Jinsokyo. If you want to survive here, don't cause me any trouble. The maid gritted her teeth and started time stop again, but when she turned around, she found that Reimu was gone. At this time, Reimu had already come to the maid's side and slapped her accurately. Faloo's 18th anniversary brand upgrade gives back to readers. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Top up now, event time, August 10th to August 20th. Chapter 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yin Yang Ghost Jade. The Scarlet Sisters reconcile and the final battle begins. When the maid released the time stop and took out a flying knife to strike first, but unexpectedly there was also talisman paper in the air that bound her tightly. She looked down in panic. Reimu's attack was already coming. Aizen, when did you lay the net? What a keen sense of battle. Jonathan Joestar, it seems that justice and humanity are more powerful this time. Genos, look at the driving of the Hakurei Miko, she won't kill the maid in one blow, right? Ha! Reimu slapped the maid on her belly, and a blue spiritual energy wave penetrated her body. Then, a yin-yang fish surrounded by purple lightning appeared between Reimu's palm and the maid's belly. It kept expanding. Treasure, yin-yang devil jade. Buga. Missy. Amid screams, the maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion was defeated. Reimu defeated her. Viola, strong power. What a beautiful punch. Shutendoji, wait a minute. This power. How can humans possess such a powerful force? Miyazu Mitsuha, hey, can the priestess really be so powerful? Why can I only do a sacrificial dance? Ms. Hershers of knowledge, what a cool yin-yang device. Such a cool move belongs to me now. In the Marvel world, Strange looked at the Ancient One with a dull face. By the way, is this also the power of you practitioners? The Ancient One smiled faintly, this is just one of them. The path is the same, but the power is expressed in different forms. But, looking at Reimu in the picture, Gui was extremely amazed. This little girl's talent can be said to be unprecedented. In the world of magical girl Madoka Magica, Kane Madoka looked at Reimu's cool posture with golden eyes. If I could become a magical girl, I would definitely be this powerful. After defeating the maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, Reimu discovered a violent explosion and fluctuation. She flew out of the Scarlet Devil Mansion and found two little vampire girls fighting fiercely above the Scarlet Devil Mansion and Marissa watching the fight. It's too late, Reimu. There's no point in intervening. This is this guy's battle. Hearing Marissa say this, Reimu turned around and asked, Marissa, what are you doing here? Reimu pointed at the blue-haired vampire girl and said, and what is that? That's the main culprit of the mutation. Marissa looked to the right again, that's her sister. Dio, vampire. Humph. Vampires without big muscles are too weak. Sophie, yeah, right. Yamai, competition between sisters. What are they fighting for? The right to live or the freedom to live? Virgil, they know the rules. If they want it, they can get it with their strength. At this moment, a rotating magic circle appeared behind the two sisters on the battlefield of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Countless light bullets and light cannons burst out from the magic circle. The sky above the Scarlet Devil Mansion was full of light spots. The younger sister was the first to dismantle the magic circle, and took out a giant sword made of fire and flew towards her sister. The elder sister was also using a purple spear to block the attacks of her younger sister. Seeing the sisters fighting and how she could reap the benefits, Reimu's eyes sparkled with joy, and she said to Marissa happily, I didn't expect that, Marissa, you are still useful occasionally. Okita Suji, wow. How come everyone can fire flares? Ron Weasley, this is too cool. Am I really learning magic? Why aren't there such cool special effects? Silver Wolf, at least you have to max out your dodge points to avoid these magics. By the way, why does this scene look so much like a barrage game? Surtur, the sword that little girl is holding is Lu upright arrow Vatine. Loki, the power of Gungnir has also appeared. Is that purple gun Gungnir from another world? Brunhild, what are the origins of these two little vampires? Where did they get the powerful magic, the gun and the magic sword? It's not just a coincidence. Oh. Marissa was about to retort, but she found that the fighting sisters suddenly stopped fighting and hugged each other in the air. Reimu also asked Marissa with some confusion, hey, what's going on? At this moment, the two sisters held hands and turned to look at Reimu and Marissa. Sorry for the long wait, Hakurei's Miko. Come to Gensokyo for a duel. Hearing this, Reimu's face suddenly fell, and she turned to look at Marissa with disdain. As expected, you are the one who makes trouble. Marissa said without panicking, it's no problem. If Reimu and I join forces, we will be invincible. Cooperate with me well, Tusaka Rin. Sisters don't hold grudges overnight. Tornado. After the sisters reconcile, the next ones to deal with are Reimu and Marissa. Jonathan Joestar. Damn it. Miss Reimu and Miss Marissa are in danger. Dio, ha 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 ha. Humans will never be able to defeat vampires, Jojo. How can a mere shrine maiden and a human magician defeat an immortal vampire who possesses a divine weapon? Hasho Aimu, but Reimu doesn't look panicked at all. And Marissa is so confident. I believe they can pass the level together. At this time, the two sisters separated their hands, slightly distanced themselves, lifted their skirts and said elegantly, Then let me introduce myself again. I am the Lord of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, the noble vampire, Remlia Scarlet. And my sister, sister also said seriously, Flandra Scarlet. Reimu picked up the coin and pointed at the two sisters and introduced herself, Hakurei Reimu. You know I'm the shrine maiden of Hakurei. Exterminating monsters is my job. In the world of Gensokyo, Amma looked at the poor and indigent Reimu with distress and confusion, wondering, Reimu was such a lively and cute child, how could she become like this when she grew up? Could it be that Yakumo Yukari abused her? In the world of Type Moon, Jewel Old Man was flipping through a book, looking at the two sisters and teasing, although they are vampires, they are much stronger than the ancestors of the dead apostles, right? However, at this age and with this appearance, it's just right for them to be witnesses of magical girls. Demon Slayer, World Destruction. Tamayo felt an inexplicable emotion when she looked at the two elegant and lovely sisters. They were obviously things of the same nature as demons, and they were obviously the same existence as Muzan Kibutsuji, but they just couldn't make people hate them, and they were in sharp contrast to Muzan Kibutsuji. Chapter 10. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shocking the world. Gungnir vs. Love Talisman, Extreme Fireworks. Dream Seal. After introducing herself, Reimu said seriously, that red mist you released is very disturbing. I'll collect it. Immediately. Remlia asked calmly, you also know that our biggest weakness is sunlight, right? That fog is used to block the sun. Now the sun can no longer shine into Gensokyo, yes. This means Gensokyo has fallen into my hands. Only the Miko who destroyed Hakurei can be the next one, which means, you, Hakurei Reimu. Let's fight. After that, a huge magic circle unfolded behind Remlia. Jotaro Kujo, a very familiar scene. Remlia is doomed to lose if she can say such a thing. Conan, no matter what, they are evil in the eyes of ordinary people. In a world without light, even flowers will wither. Muzan Kibutsuji, this is the place I've always dreamed of. Although the blue spider lily is better, if I can't find it, it's okay to make the world like this. Arthur, Pendragon, this is a battle to save the world, Reimu Hakurei, my will is with you. Alice Megatron, hey. It's not that serious. There aren't so many deep hatreds in Gensokyo, that I don't care about that kind of thing. Reimu sighed, then shouted angrily, I'm only here to defeat you because you're annoying, that's all. Go. Reimu. Marissa got on her broom and took off first. Let's go too. Big sister. Flandra opened her arms and a huge magic circle appeared. Well, Reimu lowered her head and sighed, then flew up with a determined look. Whoosh 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 whoosh. Boom 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 boom. Countless light cannons and magic bullets were fired. They floated in the air. The sky was covered with a gorgeous barrage of bullets. Reimu and Marissa smiled at each other, and rushed forward despite the barrage of bullets. Yuzui Tengen, gorgeous. So gorgeous. It's no less than the battle between Enkidu and Gilgamesh. See you Chula-in, they are truly brave warriors. 0, This is what humans are like. There are not so many intrigues, and they only fight for stability and happiness. Nurerihayan, the strongest shrine maiden in history is just like this. Where does she get the courage from? Nishiki Chitsuka, because they are the strongest combination. Ōtsutsuki, Baruto, the flower of bond is blooming, and I'm already on fire. Marissa flies at high speed, standing on the broom as if she were on a skateboard, and the green magic bullets collide with the barrage. Make way for Reimu. Flandra cancelled the barrage attack and took out the magic sword Levitin and swung it up and down. Reimu moved around and rushed directly to Flandra from below. Looking at Reimu, who was so close, Flandra was stunned for a moment, and then she showed a devilish smile. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Taboo, quadruple existence. Instantly, for Flandra surrounded Reimu, and climbed up to fight with Reimu. Merlin, Little sister Flandra may not be very good at fighting. What wizard is not good at close combat? Lisa, Patchouli, In the fairy sword world, Jingtian looked at Marissa with admiration. This little sister must be very good at flying a sword. In the Harry Potter world, Marissa has become a public idol of Gryffindor. On average, several students in Gryffindor are sent to the infirmary every hour because of broken bones when flying on a broomstick. In the Naruto world, Senju Tobarama carefully observed the 4 existences and finally came to the conclusion, these 4 clones are exactly the same as the original. They are indistinguishable and have no difference in strength. On the battlefield below, Remlia and Marissa are fighting to a climax, and the outcome is decided by just one move. Marissa stands on a broom and takes out the Bagua stove. Master Spark. Love symbol, extreme fireworks. Colorful sparkling fire cannons burst out from the Bagua furnace. Haha. Remlia raised her hands, and the huge divine spear Gungnir expanded to its limit and was thrown out by Remlia with all her might. Boom! The collision of the 2 straight lines produced a huge light and explosion. The impact flattened the earth. Asakura Riku, human body can emit a beam of light comparable to that of Ultraman. It's amazing. Ain Zulgaon, what a thick magic cannon. It turns out that firepower can give people peace of mind. Red A, this is the guaranteed hit meteor gun, Gungnir. You can only attack or use a shield to block it. Tony Stark, Marissa's magic cannon can compete with the magic gun Gungnir. A human body is comparable to a god. Homelander, Marissa, my friend, you are the real hero. In the Harry Potter world, Ron stopped Dumbledore in the corridor and shed warm tears. Principal, I want to learn light cannons, I want to learn real magic. In the air above, Reimu closed her eyes and raised the imperial coin. Talisman cards were spinning around her. Then Reimu picked up a piece of talisman paper and placed it in front of her, which instantly turned into colorful light. Dream Seal. Raimu's body spun around, transforming into a giant yin-yang jade. The golden lightning that spread out destroyed all of Flandra's clones. The scene zooms out, and a huge yin-yang jade falls from the sky. The Scarlet Devil Mansion is less than 1% of its size in front of the yin-yang jade. Flandra and Remlia stared at the terrifying yin-yang jade above the Scarlet Devil Mansion and murmured, is this, the power of the Hakurei Miko? Sister. When the yin-yang jade was about to hit the Scarlet Devil Mansion, it suddenly shrank, and then a huge white ball of light exploded. The only building on the surrounding land, the Scarlet Devil Mansion, was razed to the ground. In the Onmyoji world, all the ghosts in Heiankyo turned pale with fear, and even Tamamanomi, Otakamaru, and other ghost kings fell silent for a while. For them, the shock brought by the shrine maiden Hakurei Reimu was too great. Even the gods of Takamajiehara would be defeated in the face of Hakurei Reimu, right? In the giant world, Alan, who had just lost his mother, was completely shocked by this scene. Whether it was the light cannon that Marissa used against the god gun or the yin-yang ghost god jade of Hakurei Reimu, they were deeply engraved in his heart. Alan lowered his head and clenched his fists, muttering, if I could have this kind of power, I would definitely be able to expel all the giants without leaving a single one behind, right? In the Naruto world, Uzumaki Naruto looked at the Inyang Jade with a complicated look. At the same time, all those who participated in the Fourth Ninja World War had complicated looks and were still afraid. On this day, the people of the ninja world once again recalled the fear of being dominated by Uchiha Madara. In the Pure Land, Deidara jumped up excitedly. Art. Exquisite art. Explosive art. Absolutely amazing art. Art is an explosion. The inventory screen was silent. In the world of Gensokyo, a special screen popped up on the Dimension Gold List. Top 9 World Fantasy Township. Famous scenes featuring Reimu Hakurei, Marisa Kirasame, Sakuya Izaoi, Remlia, Flandra. Reward for being on the list. You can make a reasonable wish. At the shrine banquet, Reimu and the others looked at each other. Before anyone else could say anything, Reimu stood up and said, I want 100,000, woo. Sanai covered Raimu's mouth directly, and Marisa also began to hint at Sakuya and the others. Remy looked at Marisa with gratitude, then bowed and said sincerely, if what you said is true, then I hope that Sakuya, Marisa, and Reimu can all have eternal life. Reward achieved. A green light entered Marisa, Sakuya, and Raimu's bodies respectively, and they could all feel the endless vitality in their bodies. Only Fujiwara Mahong, who was drinking beside him, choked up and said, what's so good about immortality? After another wish is fulfilled on the Dimension Gold List, the next character on the list will appear.